Hi there, I'm John Keirstead from Arctic Spas. Wanted to showcase our new Covana. This is actually the Oasis Covana in Midnight, they call it, Midnight coloration. This particular Covana is designed to fit over up to an 8-foot spa. It won't go on our smallest spa because you see it's got this opening in the top here. But what we've done is, what Covana has done is they've taken the cover, normally we have the cover that we put on the spa and the gazebo and combined it when they call it a Covana. And I absolutely love these for a number of reasons. The first is that it's super easy. You don't need a special lifter or anything to move the cover. It just uses a little keypad. They've now added, it used to be just the key. You'd use the key up or down and that would move it. Now you have to hold this button in. Yeah, so the arrows look a little confusing on the Covana. You see it says if you twist the arrow this way, then, or the key this way, the arrow turning in the counterclockwise, the arrow inside the arrow points down. So that actually brings it down. If I want it to go up, I actually turn the key the other way. So I'm turning clockwise and the Covana goes up. If I turn counterclockwise, the Covana goes down. And that's why counterclockwise, arrow down. Clockwise, Covana up. Probably a safety reason for this. And it allows this to become a roof. On the island here, we get a lot of rain, and if you add snow and stuff, this keeps your tub from getting rain and snow when you're sitting in there. I mean, some people like it, some people don't. That gives you that choice. You can still, I get some people will say, well, if I have this on top, then I can't look at the stars. But remember, when you're sitting in the seat, each of these is like a window and you can still see all of the stars up in the sky. You just can't see the ones directly above your head. And when it's cloudy, you still have stars. And you can even change the color of the stars. Look, green giant, red dwarf. So you could just switch seats and look at those ones, right? Especially with the Tundra that we have here, there's 4 corner seats. You can look out each side as you want and see the stars still. The other advantage to this type of thing is that if you're elderly or you're not able to use the big covers, this is going to be easier for you to open and close, and it opens the whole thing. It's one piece, so you don't have any steam escaping. We haven't installed the seal on this because each footprint of the top of the spa is different. We haven't put the seal in. So normally there's a gasketed seal on here that seals this up, but even without that, there's not a lot of escaping that takes place of the steam. Of course, that will be important if you're in a cold area to have that gasket installed. You can actually change the lights by hitting the button and it'll scroll through and you can change your light colors with this one. Similar to what we do on the spa. You have the same sort of functions on the spa. These are designed to go over any spa within a certain size. For our all-weather pools, there's a flat version, which I'll show you later, called the Legend. Absolutely love that one too. That's what I have on my spa. But this is the Oasis. Now I'm going to lower this so you can see the top of it. So there's 2 different designs. There's this design here, and then there's another design that looks more like tiles that you can have for your roof. So depending on what you want from that point of view. There's a different color. I think there's another one that's kind of a brownish color they call mocha that you can use. This is the Midnight Edition, so it's black. I think by standard now they all come in black. They don't have the option for the underside. Used to be this underside was white on this Oasis Covana. I would say that about maybe 10%, 15% of the spas we sell, people opt for the Covana option. For the all-weather pools, it's about 50% because normally with the all-weather pool, you'd be dealing with 2 sets of covers and 2 cover lifters and multiple people, and to be able to just control that with a keypad is definitely much easier. So why don't we show you the Legend Covana next? Okay, so to continue with the Covana introduction, this is an all-weather pool or a swim spa. And so they're quite a bit larger. And normally one of these spas would have 2 covers. So one would open in half and flip up on that side, and then the other one would flip on this side. Sometimes we have a cover that you can roll up on and off, and that would go off to one side. Covana makes it super, super simple. With the Covana, it's one continuous plane all the way across the top of the tub. This is using the old keypad. It's a little bit different now. There's a button on the bottom that you use now, but you turn the key and it raises the lid up. So this is the lid of the spa. This one does have the seal on the top because all of our all-weather pools, we always have an ocean in this one, so it's always the same footprint, so we can use the seal on it. As you can see, it can go up quite high, allowing for people to get in and out of the spa. It does have an escape hatch on it. I'm not sure why the flat roofs ones require the escape hatch. The Oasis versions don't, maybe because they've got that dome structure. For safety, that's so that if you could get out, I guess kind of like a hood release on a trunk release on a car, that's a way to go out. My daughter likes that as getting in the spa and getting out of the spa. She thinks that's a really cool way to do it. Again, though, the beauty of these things is it's really easy to open and close the spa. And as you can see, it's well up out of the way, so if you wanted to see the stars, it's not going to interfere with that, but it is going to keep the rain and stuff off of the top view. But the real benefit to the Covana is the fact that it's just so simple. The other thing I didn't really mention before is because they have this key, if you go away on holidays, or even when you're not using the unit, you take the key out and then your tub is completely secured. Nobody can get into your spa, right? It's these hydraulic lifts that they have inside there, they will not move. You can't physically move them any other way other than having the power to it. In fact, we actually have a battery system for these as well, because even though you can wire this to be on power, there has been instances where people's power goes out and their tub's open or partially open. You wouldn't be able to open and close it at that point. So we have these battery packs that allow you to actually use it at any time. And I think I go about 2 months of using my spa. And I use my spa almost every day. It's one of these Legend. That battery pack is all I have on mine. And so I have 2 batteries, and when the one wears out, I put the other battery on there. But you can use a combination. You don't have to have a battery pack, but sure is nice. You definitely don't want to be in a position where your tub's open and you can't close it and it's the middle of winter. So that's why I kind of think the battery pack's a great idea. But this key comes out. You cover this up. And so when you're not using the tub, put the key in a nice secure place. If you don't want your kids using it or getting in there, you can put this in a place where they can't have access to it. But the biggest thing is that you don't have to worry about the neighbors' kids coming. This sort of security is better than even the fence rules and stuff that you can have. All of our covers are ASTM rated safety covers, so they're all lockable, so you can put locks on them. But if somebody really wanted to get into a standard cover, they'd just cut the strap and they could get in, or rip the strap and they could get in. The advantage to a Covana is 100% secure. So yeah, that's the key lock system. If I want to have it come up, turn counterclockwise. If I want it to come down, I twist it clockwise. And now, of course, there's a little button in there which I showed on the Oasis. Again, offered in a couple of different colors. You can have the white underside, you can have the mocha underside, or you can have a gray underside. Those are the choices that you have.
What about snow load?
Snow load, that's a good question. They can only hold about 200 pounds. So if it gets too much weight on it, it won't go up. It just won't move until you sweep it off. I actually, for mine, I have like a squeegee, a large squeegee thing that I use to push the snow off, and that's what I do with that. Also, a question that gets asked from time to time is, can you walk on these? I don't recommend walking on them. Have I walked on them? Yes, but I always make sure I'm like directly over where it makes contact with the spa, and I always make sure that it's actually touching so that I'm not putting any strain on this unit. They're not strong enough. You know, I'm almost 200 pounds, so it's not going to be able to lift me or anything like that. But yeah, if you get some snow on there, you will have to sweep it off or push it off so that the Covana will function. I think that Covana has done an amazing job with this product. It's a product that I absolutely love. I think that 50% or so of the all-weather pools we sell, people opt for this. The combined spa plus Covana is still far less than an in-ground pool. And the nice thing is you can take this with you. So if you happen to move, or let's say you don't use it anymore, you could sell the whole thing. It's not like digging a hole in the ground. It's going to be there and you have to deal with it. So I think the Covana is a great addition to an all-weather pool. You should get one.